Dr. Weslynne Ashton is an associate professor of environmental management and sustainability at the Illinois Institute of Technology, Stewart School of Business. Dr. Ashton's research focuses on industrial ecology, optimizing water, energy, and material resource flows in socio-ecological systems, and developing entrepreneurial solutions to social and environmental challenges, particularly in low-income and developing regions. So, Dr. Ashton, welcome.
Thank you, Pablo. Today, I'm going to be talking about how local supply chains can support innovations in food production and delivery. Next slide. As borders closed and states implemented stay-at-home restrictions, COVID-19 caused severe disruptions in our food supply chains, which was notably seen in things like empty grocery shelves and shuttered restaurants. Behind the scenes on farms, there were mixed effects. My research group pivoted from our activities to participate in an outreach program with Illinois farmers to understand COVID impacts on their operations. Some reported being severely handicapped due to not having enough laborers to work on their farm to safely tend and harvest crops, not being able to access processing facilities or distribution centers to get their products to customers, or meet new safety requirements in those distribution centers or farmers markets. But we also heard from some that business had never been better, that demand for local produce skyrocketed. And if they had the infrastructure and resources to get products to urban consumers, they were almost guaranteed high sales. Next slide. Even before COVID, we had begun exploring ways to increase sustainability and equity in local food supply chains through institutional purchasing and business models for the aggregation of produce from small farmers. This included a statistical analysis of food hubs across the US to understand their organizational structures, services offered, and profitability. Since COVID, we have been inspired by the dozens of innovations that have emerged in the local food supply chain, where alliances of small farmers and operators have been collaborating to share resources, procure and deliver nutritious food to households across the income spectrum. I'd just like to highlight two examples from Chicago. So on the left is Close Loop Farm, which is a medium-tech vertical farm that gets its name from recycling 99.5% of its waste. It primarily served restaurants and pivoted to selling via an online platform, and they brought their friends along, so neighboring farms and other food production businesses offering pickup and delivery across the city, and new innovations such as this salad club that's shown here in this photo. On the right is Chai Fresh Kitchen, which is a worker-owned cooperative whose workers are formerly incarcerated individuals who specialize in meal preparation for Black and Brown communities. They partnered with local farms, other food service co-ops, and community organizations like churches to provide culturally appropriate meals to food insecure communities. Next slide. My group studies material energy and waste flows and network dynamics in industrial ecosystems, which embody the concept of a circular economy, effectively utilizing resources and recirculating them as much as possible. We're seeing a number of initiatives like the plant pictured here emerging across the city, combining business incubation for sustainable urban agriculture, including vertical farming and food businesses, with material synergies across firms to reuse byproducts, shared management of water resources, and digestion of food waste to recover energy and use to digestate as soil amendments. These new models are also proposing health centers to be located inside their facilities to provide education and health services related to food for the communities in which they're located, such as a Veggie RX program where doctors prescribe vegetables instead of medicines. Next slide. As we develop new innovations to produce food in cities, such as through controlled environment agriculture, We need to balance the emphasis on technological advancement with cultural needs and equity concerns in the places where these enterprises are developing. Pictured here on the left is AeroFarms in Newark, New Jersey, which uses aeroponic technology to mist precise amounts of water and nutrients to leafy greens grown in vertical stacks. Vertical farming has many environmental benefits, such as low water use, no pesticide use, but it does have significant energy consumption concerns. It requires high technology, software, and robotics, but few employees. It's receiving significant private equity funding, which stands in stark contrast to the underinvested urban communities in which many are located, and the sparse financial capital flowing to Black and Brown entrepreneurs who are interested in starting such businesses. So equity in financing urban agriculture at various technology levels needs to be addressed, as does cultural appropriateness of offerings grown in such enterprises. The photo on the right is taken at a nearby school where AeroFarms has installed a growing stack to educate kids at the school about growing their own food, which is served in the cafeteria. So COVID has exposed the many problems in our highly industrialized food supply chain, but it has also shown the power of local food production and collaboration for the delivery of nutritious food to diverse communities. What lies ahead is forging to create equitable circular economies in food production, consumption, and waste management to ensure that Black, Indigenous, and other people of color have access not only to healthy food, but also being able to prosper from the economic opportunities to produce it. Thank you. Back over to you, Pablo.